Okay, welcome back, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is the second part of the first period of this day. Okay, in the first part, we talked about a very important, useful site that we will frequently use to find the past papers, the classified past papers, and homeworks and something like that. Okay, now inshallah, but I mean, we will begin, all these videos will be uploaded on Classera. Now inshallah, but I mean, we will talk about or take our first steps in topic 4. But before anything, let me remind you that you will write after me, inshallah, I mean, each word. So this whiteboard in front of you, okay, you will prepare your copybook, you will prepare your pens and pencil, okay, and ruler, okay, because this topic has large amount of details, by the way, okay, and they need to be well organized such that you can study it efficiently, okay, and be able to solve the questions, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, accurately. Let's go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Okay, you have the chance for seconds to prepare your copybooks. I know that some of you may need time to prepare your copybook and pens and okay. Here. I think you are ready now to write after me, inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Okay, let me remind you, our classmates in the class, if you have any question, I know that you don't have a mic, so if you have any question, write it on the chat, okay, or in the group, okay, and I'll check the group from time to time. Our classmates on Zoom, if you want to have or ask a question, you can raise your hand and take the mic after give you the permission, after giving or taking the permission from inshallah Rabbil Alameen. Okay, now inshallah Rabbil Alameen, we, according to, we said we will study the electricity and the magnetism. Electricity and magnetism. Well, so first of all, let's talk about the difference between the electricity and the magnetism. For some point in this topic, we will go comparatively. Yani, we will talk about the electricity and the corresponding part of magnetism. For example, we will talk about the electricity, the electric charge and the magnetism. Then we will talk about the electric field and the magnetic field. Then we will talk about the electric force and the magnetic force and so on. Okay, this will make important things. It will make us shorten the time needed. Okay, number two, it will give us a clear point of view about the points those are repeating in electricity and magnetism. We will know, we will be able to focus which points are completely similar and which points are not completely similar, okay? And what are the accurate or the small or the tiny differences between them. So first of all, we will talk about the electricity and magnetism as a definitions, as definitions, as concepts. So this is our first point. What is electricity and what is magnetism? Not what is electricity, but what is the electric charge and what is the magnetism. Okay, so this is the first point that we will talk about. First of all, what is the electric charge? Electric, or let's talk about magnetism first, معلش. magnetism. What is not the electricity, but the electric charge? The electric charge. Number one, the definition of magnetism. In fact, the definition of magnetism is what? Magnetism, if I ask you to define the magnetism, you will say it's the ability to attract bodies, or it's the ability to attract bodies those contain some materials like iron, which is preferable with respect to you. I'm waiting for your answer on the chat. I'm waiting for your answers. Which is preferable to say? Is magnetism the ability to attract bodies, or it's the ability to attract bodies those contain some materials like iron? Which is the accurate definition from your point of view? I'm waiting for your answers. MashaAllah, ممتاز. Okay. Thank you, MashaAllah. Muhammad Yusuf Ashraf. طيب يوسف، بس واحدة يعني خلينا عشان لسه بنبدأ. يعني يوسف, it's expected that the students here doesn't know anything about electricity and magnetism. Okay, so these are our first steps. Okay, Muhammad Zaytoun, thank you, excellent. Thank you, Abdulrahman Guhari. Thank you, Yusuf Ashraf, ممتاز. Okay, thank you, Yusuf Usama, Zuhair, Ahmed Ali, mashallah. Thank you, Ahmed Ali. طبعا is the representative of our classmates in the class. Okay, so thank you for all the class. Okay, thank you, Adham. Thank you, Safsiyan. Mashallah, mumtaz. Okay, we agreed together that it's the ability to attract bodies those contain some materials like iron. Someone may say, Mr., when we were in grade 4, we said it's the ability to attract iron containing objects. This is not accurate. This is suitable for grade 4, okay? Because what about if the object contains cobalt? Will it be attracted or not? Yes, it will be attracted. So why do you say only iron? Like it contains some materials like iron. Okay, طيب. So the first point here to be said is the definition of the magnetism. طيب. What about the electric charge? We have a question here. Okay, what about the electric charge? Yes, not only iron, but some materials. Your classmate asks, Muhammad Zaytoun, so Mr. Magnetism only works when materials such as iron are present? Yes. Okay, and we will call, by the way, we will call these iron, those are affected by the magnetic field or the magnetism, as magnetic material. So this definition is an approach to this point. The materials, those are affected by the magnetic field or the magnet, or attracted by the to the magnet, are called magnetic materials. And some materials are not affected by the magnet, so they are called non-magnetic material. Okay, this is a very important point to be observed, and we will talk about it in details. Okay, so here we say that, what about the electric charge? If you remember, when we study the static electricity, when we were in grade 8, we said that to talk about the electric charge, we will take a pen like this, and we will make like this in here. I have some here, okay, don't worry, okay. We will make rubbing like this in here, and we will bring this pen close to tiny pieces of paper. What will happen? Huh? What will happen? It will what? Huh? Will attract these tiny pieces of paper. Okay, why? Because there is some property which is formed on this body. Okay, this property is called the electric charge. So what is the electric charge? The electric charge, we can define it as it's some property or a physical property of matter. Of what? Of matter. Of what? Of matter. Class, we said of matter. Okay. Yeah, why do you say of what? Of matter. طيب, if I ask you, gamma rays has an electric charge, have an electric charge or not? What will you say? Gamma rays. Yes, excellent, Yusuf. Excellent, mashallah, mumtazin. No, mister. Why? Because the electric charge is what? Huh? Is a physical property of matter, and the waves are not matter. Okay? So the energy can never be charged or described as charged, and the waves can never be described as charged also. Okay, so this is the importance of the word matter. So it's a physical property of matter. Okay, makes it attract light objects. Those contain iron, any light object, iron, copper, paper, plastic, watermelon, بطيخ، اي حاجه بس تكون لايت، تكون dry، ما يكونش wet, dry. Okay, so this is the electric charge. But here we will talk about some important. So this is the difference between the magnetism and the electric charge. On this table, we will put some important notes. Okay. In this paper table, we will put some important notes. Note that by the way, we don't follow the sequence of the book. We have a syllabus. We are not interested in the sequence of the book, okay? But we are interested in explaining the points of the syllabus accurately. Okay? Note that Number one, inshallah, I mean, you will see that this method of reorganizing topic 4 will be, inshallah, so effective with respect to you, inshallah. وهيبقى فيها details, it will contain details more than the details that exist in the book, but in fewer papers. Yeah, let's go. The first point is number one. The unit number one, the magnetic materials they are materials that, or those, okay, can be attracted to the magnetic field or to the magnet, because we will study the magnetic field later. طيب. So magnetic materials, in fact, they are not magnets. هم مش magnets. They are materials. When you put them in a magnetic field, يعني when you put them close to a magnet, they will be attracted to the magnet. These are the magnetic materials. Okay, and inshallah Rabbil Alameen later, okay, we will classify them into two main categories: magnetically soft and magnetically hard. But we will study this later, inshallah. Later. Inshallah, in details. Inshallah. Okay, طيب. The second point, sorry. The second point is number 2, non-magnetic material they are materials those can not be attracted to the magnetic field. Like, what are the examples of the first one and what are the examples of the second one? This is a logic question to be asked. Okay, the example of the first one, like iron, like cobalt, like nickel, and I. The examples of the second one, like copper, like aluminium, and so on. Several materials. طيب. There is a question here sent by Yusuf Osama. Mr. Why do some materials react with magnets but other are not? طيب جماعة إن شاء الله رب العالمين this is an approach. We didn't take the magnetism. Now we take the comparative part only. But later, inshallah, we will talk about the idea of domain, what's meant by domain, okay, the magnetic domain, okay, what is the reason of the magnetism. So please, we have a sequence of points to be explained. فما تقلقوش يعني, don't be worried. Okay, بالضبط. Because of magnetic domains. What's meant by magnetic domains in the time or in the period of magnetic domains, we will explain what's meant by magnetic domains. Okay, so I follow my own arrangement of the syllabus. تمام؟ يعني you have to know that if you don't find the point that you are asking about here, it will come inshallah. But because after finishing topic 4, you will find yourself know each word more efficiently, inshallah. I mean, that it's explained in the book. Inshallah, I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're welcome. The second point is the SI unit. طبعا we will stop here. The SI unit of charge, electric charge, is called coulomb. Is called coulomb. C, and you have to memorize this. This is the second part of our period for today. Inshallah, we will stop here. Okay, this is just an approach, and inshallah, I mean, next period we will continue talking about our syllabus. Remember, this period has a first part which where we explained the IG exams, the site, the useful site,